Hello YouTube, this is Zach, and today I'm going to continue my little newfound reaction video stuff. If you've never seen my content before, I'm a professional singing teacher, and most of my content is very analytical in nature, and recently I've been recommended just to start talking about some music and giving my thoughts and reactions to it. So I'm kind of new to this reaction space. This is James Blunt's Monsters. Someone just said watch it blind. I don't know anything about it. I tend to stop a lot because I want to give you my reaction immediately and I don't want to forget what my thoughts were. So some people don't like that. I don't know, that's just how I do things, but I hope you enjoy it. I have no idea what this is about, so here we go. This is James Blunt's Monsters.
Before they turn off all the lights, I won't read you your wrongs or your rights. The time has gone. I'll tell you good night, close the door. Tell you I love you once more. The time has gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine.
Okay. All right. Oh, man. There's, wow. Wow. So, you know, I have not really talked about myself very much on this channel, like my personal life, because it's just not really the internet's business, and I will not share too much about, you know, my personal life, but I very, very strongly can relate to this. Wow, I'm not even sure how much I should share online. Wow. You know, I would hate for this video to like go viral or something, and all my some of my personal things are aired out for the world to see. There was a very long period of my life where I did not know my biological father. And man, this is personal. This is really personal. Sorry to any you guys watching this if you're just sitting here waiting for me to say something. Let me just keep going. Maybe I'll fill in the blanks a little bit more as it goes on. I can't decide what I do and don't want to say yet.
And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away. Oh, well, I'll read a story
I don't know if I can do this. All right, let me try again. So, my grandmother was married to a man for my entirety of my childhood. And I called him D-Da. He was my grandfather. I called him D-Da. And he was amazing. My family was tumultuous in some ways. I mean, it's hard for me to talk about this because I know that some of my family's going to be watching this video. I love my family very much. It was really hard. My mother struggled a lot because of the remnants that my biological father left behind. I won't go into that whole story here, but my mother was a single mother when I was born. She got remarried when I was 3 or 4. My stepdad came in and did the very best that he could. My mother now is struggling a lot because of things that happened to her in her past. And I know that when I hear things like this song, the sentiment is that the man is talking to his father as he's going to die, and saying that you comforted me all these years, and you know, you told me stories, you know, to cheer me up and to make me feel better, and let me return that favor to you. I'm so at a loss here. Sometimes someone's death doesn't have to be physical. Sometimes it can be spiritual. Sometimes it can be emotional. The reason I brought up my grandfather is that he was amazing, and he was always a buddy. He loved me to death, and every time I came over, it was just to see my grandmother. He was always there. We'd do things together. He'd take me out onto his farm, and he'd take me on his golf cart. I have all sorts of fond memories of him, and he passed away. And he passed away when I was in college, when I was about 19 or 20 years old. I think it was 2006, 2007. And I remember him on his deathbed. I remember he talked to me. He wanted to talk to me. I was outside of his room in hospice, and he wanted to come. He wanted me to come in and talk to me, and he was having, you know, times where he was awake and asleep, he'd just fall asleep randomly. But the times that he was cogent, he was talking to people and trying to be as jovial and as cordial as he could. And he wanted to talk to me. And I tried so hard to keep it together because I knew that it would probably be the last time. And at that point in my life, things were really hard because going back to, some of the issues in my immediate family, and I think a lot of those issues that they spurned from the fact that my biological father did a lot of damage to my mother. And so my life was hard at that time as it was. I was trying to do college and I was balancing jobs in college and all this kind of stuff. And I remember the me knowing like this is D-Daw's probably about to go. He had cancer. He was I can't remember if it was lung cancer or I don't remember, but I'll never forget the words he told me that day. I hear them in my head and I think about them all the time. And I try to let it shape my worldview. And it's funny because people tell me in these videos and comments and things, and people tell me I talk too much. And that, I never know when to be quiet. But regardless of how much I talk, I'm always listening because D-Daw, the last thing he ever told me was that you're going to be fine in this world. All you have to do is just listen to people and you're going to be fine. I will never forget it. After he said that, he just drifted back off to sleep. And that was it. That was the last time I ever talked to him. And that was the last thing he ever said to me. And I think about it every day. No matter how much people think I talk too much, I listen. I really do. I think my mind is so full of thoughts and ideas that I just want to, it makes you want to burst. So I just let it all out. But I do listen all the time, no matter how much I talk. And that was incredibly difficult because I was not in a good place with my immediate family. It was a very tumultuous time, and I'm not going to go into all that because it was just bad. And I have great sympathy for my mother, who tried as hard as she could, and she did the best that she could. And I've lived and seen and felt the destruction that men who leave the women in their lives, the damage that it causes. I lived it. I'm a living example of it. And so when I hear anything that talks about fathers, talks about having relationships with dad, it's really hard. There's another layer to this. There's another layer to this about my stepdad. And man, I just don't know what is okay to share on the internet. I don't want to share. I don't want to, open my family's past up. It's just not a safe thing to do online. But I will tell you this. This situation, I've been there, but it was in a completely different context from what this song is. And I'll let it play some more. I've been talking enough. I should listen more now, right?
I folded your clothes on the chair. I hope you sleep well, don't be scared. Time has gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. It's my time to chase the monsters away. Sleep a lifetime, yes, and breathe the last word. You can feel my hand on your heart. I will be the last one, so I'll leave a light on. Let there be no darkness in your heart.
This is really hard for me to watch. And if you are familiar with my content, you know that I'm breaking it and stopping it a whole lot less than I normally do. My stepdad in 2012, maybe it was early 2013, had a catastrophic car accident. To the point to where he was in an SUV and it flipped twice. He was thrown out of it. He didn't have a seatbelt on. I don't know. I don't think he was planning to drive very far, but that just goes to tell you that crazy things can happen in the blink of an eye. And he was thrown out of a vehicle. And I don't know how it happened, but someone either saw it or found him or something. And they called the ambulance. They called 911. He was helivac'd out. And he lived. And when I heard what happened, I was in college at the time still. And I spent every day after school going to the ICU, sitting with him every single day. And I was the only one there. It was a difficult time for everyone in my family. There was a block of time, I'd say about a 10-year block, where it was very, very difficult for my family as a whole. And I went there every day and sat with him one-on-one, me and him. And it was harrowing because he was really bad shape. I remember when I first went to the hospital and saw him in ICU. When they rolled him by, it was horrible. And we didn't think he was going to make it. And he did. And it was incredible. He recovered, and it was incredible. And he's still alive and kicking to this day. He's back in my hometown, lives in the same place that he always did with my brother. And he's doing okay now. But, I mean, I totally understand the feeling of, like, this might be the last conversation. And that was an incredibly tragic moment. It was brutal. This song is hitting all sorts of little spots in my life. Like, I think that I don't like the state of things like politics in the world. The world is falling apart. It doesn't matter what your political alignment is. It doesn't matter what you believe or who you think is right or wrong. We all can agree that the world is falling apart at the seams. And we need family more than ever. We need the people that are closest to us, and we need a circle, because ultimately that's all we have is ourselves and the people that are closest to us. We need that. And I have dealt with the demons of living with an unstable and broken family. And so when I see things like this, I don't even know what it will be like when the time comes. My grandmother has been one of the cornerstones of my life, and she's pushing as hard as she can, and she's in great health considering her age. You know, she's 87. She's probably watching this now. Hey, Grandma. She's probably watching this now. And I have so much to thank to her. You know, so many of the things that have gone well in my life have been because she's helped me. And you know, I don't know what I'm going to do or feel when this time comes, and I don't want to think about it because, you know, my father's situation is very complex, and my biological father and I are not in contact with each other. I met him, and we had some time where we were somewhat getting to know each other, and we just went our separate ways. It was catharsis in a sense because you talk about monsters, right? Well, the monster for me for a long time growing up was not knowing who my biological father was. And having to cope with that and having to live with that and having to find some sense of self without that influence. And you know, I think there's an easy argument that it was better that he wasn't around. But the fact that I grew up with my mother having left him, and she struggled and worked really hard to keep things afloat, it put a lot of unnecessary toil and strain on my family. And when I finally met him, it's kind of ironic. I was performing Into the Woods, the Sondheim musical. I was playing the role of the narrator in The Mysterious Man. Spoiler alert if you've never seen Into the Woods. Skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled. Turns out that the mysterious man is the baker's father who ran away at childhood. And that was the first time I met my biological father because he came to see me into the woods when I was playing the mysterious man narrator role. You know, nature has a sick sense of humor. You know what I mean? And I spent the next 6 months or so of my life getting to know him, and he might see this now, he might not. I don't know. I don't know how in tune he is with the things that I do, but it was clearly best that we went our separate ways. And so seeing that it made me appreciate my stepdad even more, because he stepped in and took me on and took care of me when he didn't have to. And despite whatever difficulties my family had growing up and whatever tumultuous things we dealt with, I can say for sure that both my parents tried as hard as they possibly could. And it's really hard to think of a world where my family is gone. I've experienced a little bit of it, and I've experienced close shaves of it. But so much of my worldview has been shaped by understanding how difficult life is when your family's fragmented and when things are broken. So it's hard for me to see things like this. It's not envy. It's not jealousy. It's not even disdain or anything like that. It's just It just makes me wish that life had been nicer and more fair to everyone in my family. I just wish that, the coin had flipped on the other side, that things had just gone a little bit different. Oh, man. Let's keep going.
But I'm not your son. You're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive. No need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So Daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That is that's really hard. When I think about the message, death is the great equalizer. And there is no all the struggles and all the pain and all the conflict and all the secrets and the deception and the rivalries, and none of that matters when we meet our maker. And it makes me think of a piece. It's funny, the last time I did a reaction video, I did Ren, High Ren. I reacted to that, and it made me think of Bright as the Ring of Words by Ray Vaughan Williams. This actually makes me think of Fear No More, the Heat of the Sun by Finzi and Shakespeare is the text. I'm not going to sing it here because it's very long. It's a lot harder to sing without an accompaniment. But the sentiment in that piece is like a gesture of not offering fear, not offering, pain. It's the text is, fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Thou art worldly task hast done, home art gone, and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls must all follow this and come to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great. Thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and eat. To thee the reed is as the oak. The scepter, learning, physic, must all follow this and come to dust. Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the all-dreaded thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure rash. Thou art finished, joy and moan. All lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee and come to dust. No exorciser harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. Ghost unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave. That's fear no more the heat of the sun. That's the text to it. And the idea is that in death, when we pass, all of the struggles and all of the pain and all of the heartbreak and all of the censure and all the tyranny of the world and all the anguish and all the death and all the terrible relationships and all the family problems, they go away. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave. You become a memory, and the pain that you felt is gone. You don't have to deal with it anymore. Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the winter's furious rages. None of that matters anymore. You are now safe from all of these things. It's a powerful, powerful message. And I think that when James Blunt says, I'm not your father, you're not my son, we know each other's rights and wrongs, he's saying, like, now you have peace. You rest. You've earned it. And death is the thing that makes us equal. no matter no matter what you've done, no matter who you were, no matter who you are, no matter who you became, no matter what happened throughout your life. Now we are just two men, and I get to be the one who comforted you as you comforted me. An incredibly powerful sentiment. You know, there are a lot of details I left out about my family because I just don't think it's appropriate to share everything. But I can strongly relate to the feelings of loss and the want for everything just to be okay. And I think that this song hit me on a very deep personal level because I hope that one day I'm able to have a family. I hope that one day I'm able to be the father that is there for his son or his daughter, and that I could share that. And you know, I hope I hope that happens one day, because I think that the notion of the father to son reconciliation through death is a beautiful thing, and I think that it's a beautiful thing to consider the cyclical nature of the son being the caretaker and the protector for the father in his old age. It's like it's a cycle. It's like an inverse of the birth. So this was heavy, man. I hope that this was something for you. I don't even know. I have no idea what. I don't know. I have no idea what just happened. On a totally different note, and I feel kind of weird saying this here, but I want to anyway because it's a big part of what's going on in my life right now. I've been invited to go to the Vocology Institute this summer to pursue a vocology certification, which is a big certification. I get some really good accreditation from one of the best institutes in the United States. And I'd be working with some of my favorite voice researchers, some of the best ones in the world. And I'm currently running a GoFundMe to try to see if I can make it this summer. And so, you know, anything helps. If you're willing to donate, please do so. That's my predominant thing that's going on in my life right now. I am a singing teacher, and if you're interested in watching my singing content, you can, you know, my analysis content, there's tons of other videos where I talk about some singing stuff. I offer free vocal assessments. I have a Discord server if you guys want to get to know me a little bit more. If this is the first time you've ever seen me, yeah, I dipped you guys in deep. I mean, this is not typical of me at all. So I hope that you got something out of this, and if it's too rambly, I apologize. I really do try to listen as much as I speak, contrary to what it may seem with me being a content creator, just talking at you all the time. So anyway, take care, all of you. Thank you for watching. Bye.